Hi, it's just me. It's been a little while since my last video, so I thought I'd give a nice little update of what's been happening. So it's now the 6th of September 2015. So I'm now 19 months on testosterone, which is awesome. That time's kind of flown by. And then I'm now 20 weeks post-top surgery, which is absolutely marvellous. I think kind of the message I want to give with this video is that things do always get better, and it can always seem such a long time to count. Kind of the wait for Charing Cross is over a year, and then the wait for hormones, is so long, and the wait for top surgery is so long, and things like that. Generally we all get there, and it's a long road, but this is kind of the road that we've all been given, and kind of trying to stick with it as much as we can to get to that end goal. So yeah, I'm due my next injection next Friday I think it is. My nurse that does these injections for me, she's absolutely wonderful. She kind of asks questions and things like that, but absolutely appropriate questions. I went to see her last time and she was like, is there anything that we can do to support like trans individuals such as yourself, but other people that might kind of come into the practice, to make it, is there something that we've kind of missed, haven't really thought about? And I mentioned to her about like smear tests and things like that, because I'm on as I'm at the practice as male, I wouldn't get pinged up for regular kind of smear tests and things. So she said, leave it with me, I will go and speak to the practice manager. So they had a chat, and now I'm going to be automatically kind of pinged up for the smear tests, but as different as everyone else. So I've got my smear test in a couple of weeks. Not particularly looking forward to it, but it's one of those things that's what I've got downstairs. I want to get checked, make sure I'm safe and make sure everything's happy really. Also, a little while ago I had my GP write a letter so I could get my name and gender changed from my passport. He wrote a letter, it didn't have the best wording, it didn't have the precise wording as what they needed. So I then, when I was due to see my nurse, I printed off an example that I found on the passport website, took that in with me. I said, this is really what I'm after. She said, leave it with me again. So after a few days, whatever, I got a phone call saying that my letter was really picked up, and it was the exact letter that I needed. So I've now got to send off my passport. I've filled in the application form for the passport and things. I've now just got to send off all the information, my depot, the letter from doctor, letter from Charing Cross, and this, that and the other. So that's got to be done. Hormones wise, I was always getting a slight, what I felt was a trough before my next injection. I was getting very emotional, very tired and things like that. So we had some blood tests to find out if I was within ranges and things like that. My range is about 12, something like that at its lowest, and then my highest is 40 something, I think, and it's supposed to be between like 10 and 30. So I do have a massive drop between when I have my injection and when I'm due my next one, but it's all within the safe limits, so they're not going to do anything as with at the minute. So I'm on what is basically Testosterone. So on mine it's testosterone, ethanoate, which is the same thing, every 4 weeks. I'm due my next appointment with Charing Cross up in January next year. So then they're looking to discharge me if I don't need anything else in terms of lower surgeries and things like this. At the minute, I don't want the lower surgery that they could provide. I don't want the forearm one. I know there are guys that have got really good results with it, but I wouldn't, due to my job and things like that, I don't think I can manage something like that with this scarring that you get. So I'm going to discuss with them at Charing Cross what I need to do in terms of the future, in terms of am I on 4 weekly injections for the rest of my life, and things like that. But that's all to discuss with them. I've got a lot of hair coming in down the sides. I'm not sure if you can actually see anything up in the video, you probably can't, but I'm getting a fair amount coming in the sides and underneath. Got a little bit underneath my lip and above my top lip, but not really much comes in the sides. I have to shave probably about once a week, something like that. I just trim it just to make sure it's all kind of neat and tidy really. My voice every so often will break, nothing too much. I'm going to the gym and things like that a couple times a week, just trying to build up some strength. I feel like I'm lifting heavier weights. I don't feel there is some more definition, but it's not as much as what other people have had. But again, it's each to their own and everyone's different, I suppose. Top surgery wise now. So yeah, 20 weeks I had it ago, and it's made my life so much easier, so much better. It's like just very simple things. You get used to new sensations. So just wearing a t-shirt, you're getting used to that kind of sensation underneath. You're then getting used to kind of the feeling of a seatbelt going across, and kind of the headphone lead going down underneath the shirt, and it's getting used to those new sensations and things. It's slightly weird, but you get used to it. I've never really had much sensation in my nipples, but being able to feel things is now weird. My left nipple I've been getting some pain with every so often. I'm not sure if it's just polo t-shirts that I wear for work that are kind of rubbing on it, or what, but it might just be a new sensation I've not really kind of ever had before. They're healing wonderful. So I didn't use the tape. So that's the tape that Mr Yelland gave. I've used 2 things of it. I've put on there twice. It played up with my skin, so I haven't used that. I just roll off the table. I also have bio oil. Not particularly used that. Probably should do. And I also have, I can't remember what it's called. The thing you have to get your GP to prescribe. Acid. No, I can't remember. But there's some cream that you can get your GP to prescribe. They don't tend to prescribe it because it's quite expensive, but I got my GP to prescribe it in the end. Not been using that as much, but that's okay, I suppose. Within kind of physiotherapy work that I do, I go into hydrotherapy, so it's a really nice warm pool. It's about 35 degrees, the water. I'm in there twice a week for a couple of hours at a time, going through exercises with patients and things. And I've always worn a pair of shorts and a rash vest. And because it's so warm, by the end of my sessions I get really hot and end up being quite claustrophobic with my rash vest on and things. Last week, the week just gone, was my first session. I decided I'm actually not going to wear my rash vest. So I went in there shirtless, just with my board shorts on, with my swim shorts on. And the first patient I had, she asked about my scars. I went, great, this is really what I need. Because I already looked at my patients, I knew who I had, I thought they would be okay with everything, you know. But the first patient I had, she asked me about scars, and it just made me feel really crap. It was, I think it was purely out of curiosity, in terms of, you know, I come across male, everyone knows me there as male, and then also I've got scars, and they're very obvious scars at the minute, and they look very serious. But I didn't explain to her why. I was about to, but then it moved on. But no one else that session said anything. I think that session I only had one male, I believe, and he didn't say anything. So yeah, no one else said anything. It was just that one person, but it had to be my first patient. So I think being in that water really kind of softens up my scars and things like that. So nipple wise, I'm really happy with my nipples. I think some people, their nipples have not healed, so they've had tattooed ones. Some other ones, they've still been quite big. Other ones haven't got any kind of height to them, but my nipples have actually got some height to them, which is more natural in a nipple. He did a really good job with them actually. I was very concerned about how they'd end up really. So scar comes all the way around that side, or all the way across. It doesn't feel it's not particularly tender anywhere. I'm quite spotty at the minute, just because lots of hair kind of coming in and things still. I still got a few darker hairs over my shoulders and things. I haven't particularly got any back hair. It's a bit kind of fuzzy. I've got a hairy backside. That's really odd. Hair actually on my backside, which is strange. But my snail trail, it's just hair everywhere now. And if you kind of look at my very early videos and things, I don't have anything there. So actually having some hair on my kind of belly is a bit weird. I'm not going to be one of these guys that shaves their chest hair and things like that, because my skin is generally very sensitive. It's just going to rash up, and I prefer not to just have a massive rash at my chest. But it's a little bit puckered in there, but it's not too bad actually. Every so often you get a little bit that's much lighter than others, a bit darker under there, but that's okay. Range of movement, it's a bit tight up there, just giving that bit of a stretch, but generally feels alright. I think with kind of top surgery and things like that, I'm forever grateful that I've had it done. And I know in America, because you have to pay for it yourself and things like that, it makes people be on hormones a lot longer before they have their top surgery and things like this. And I think mine and Amy's situation at the minute, yes, we would have ended up being able to afford top surgery and things like this, but because we've got this house and things like that, we would have had to weigh it up. It would have been, would my top surgery come first, would the house come first, and things like that. I think that's everything regarding my chest. Sensation wise, I can feel everywhere. Here is a little bit tingly. It's generally good, quite good sensation wise. My mum's getting a lot better with my transition. She talks about it with colleagues at work, so that's really good with her. I don't think there's anything else I need to say in this video. It's always once I finish the videos I think, oh, I needed to say this, but I can't remember. As always, feel free to follow me or Amy on our Tumblrs. I'll attach them at the bottom. Feel free to ask us any questions, any comments, any advice you want. We'll always we'll always help in any way we can. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, alright, see you later.